Yeah, my biggest problem with the bastards is they keep trying to pretend that I'm not disabled, but only when it benefits them.
Right. Other times it's like, oh, you're just disabled. You don't know.
Yeah, I'm disabled, so I must be retarded. Like, you know, even my physical disabilities. I'm like, hey, I can barely make it up the fucking stairs. Like, you can ask anybody that I've stayed with who has fucking stairs. You know?
Yeah.
Like, is it just me running up the stairs fucking like a little kid? No, I gotta use the goddamn handrail. Fucking, I gotta use the handrail to step off the fucking front porch, and it's only 4 inches tall.
Right.
God, dude, I'm afraid to sit down. Like, you notice I keep sitting a little bit away from you. I'm trying to aim my boil for right there on the crack.
Boil?
So, dude.
In between my ass and my junk on my thigh.
There's this little flecks that keeps showing up on everything I got, and it keeps weirding me out because they're little flecks. And I go, you know, that's kind of like when I scrape my scalp and it's a real dry summer and them flecks get all over everything. So then I'm looking at them and I'm going, you know, I could probably sell those to somebody for shards. Yeah.
That's gross. Nice.
I'm nasty, that's right. Well, you know, like, if you say that to somebody and they don't see it, it's kind of like when you got, what do they call them, no-see-ums or whatever? Bugs, chiggers. They're really tiny bugs.
Okay.
So people get those, and then they're scratching, and they're like, well, I got some no-see-ums. That's what David and Laura call them, no-see-ums. And they're just little tiny bugs.
Oh,
so
lice?
It could be lice. We could probably look them up, actually.
Lice are a variation of.
Yep.
You know what really fucking sucks? That you almost never see unless you start looking for them?
Ticks?
Bed bugs.
Yep, bed bugs are kind of the same thing. They're tiny.
Oh my god, dude. Bed bug investment when you have fucking anxiety is fucking horrible. Especially when you're stoned. Fucking when I lived with Nikki and Bobby up in Ohio, they got bed bugs, and fuck me, dude, I was tripping. I got so fucking baked one night, not even thinking, and the next thing I know, we're fucking scratching and going crazy and looking for fucking bed bugs and just, I don't know.
Ceratopogonidae, insect, is a family of flies commonly known as no-see-ums or biting midges, generally 1 to 3 millimeters in length. The family includes more than 5,000 species distributed worldwide apart from the Antarctic and the Arctic.
Let me see that word, the technical word.
Yep. So when you see somebody who's a crackhead who's always fucking scratching because they're a crackhead, and then you see somebody who's infested with bed bugs, how do you tell the difference?
The way they talk?
Alright, well, let's say you got somebody who's got Tourette syndrome and somebody's on meth. How do you tell the difference?
Usually I don't know, look for scratch marks.
Alright, well, how about if someone is stimming versus somebody who's just fucking gacking out in public? How can you tell the difference?
I don't know.
Right.
There's certain things, like, even then, like, it's hard to fully judge, especially if you don't know someone. You might recognize their certain behaviors as something. Like, Todd asked Harlee if I was smoking crack or something. Because of when I went over there on Thanksgiving, because I haven't been eating at all. I don't sleep at all. And I guess I just looked angry and distant the whole time I was there.
Oh, see, that's the thing with me. Like, when I went to church, I was tired. I was, like, really tired. And they kicked me out of church. That was, like, the week before 4th of July. I got kicked out of church and a mental institution, both in the same fucking week.
That sucks.
Yeah, you know what they kicked me out of church for? Because I looked angry and I didn't sit down. I was like, I can't sit down. My back is fucked up, dude.
Which church did you go to?
Assembly of God.
Really? You got kicked out of there?
Yep. Ron Nordyke kicked me out.
Okay.
He's the same person who put me on the down list in art, of all things. So I couldn't go to prom. I was like, dude, that is so fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know, because he's always treated me really nice, and he's looked past family issues. He's looked past how I acted and behaved. And
see, he was always nice to me, but the teachers had a conference before prom specifically about me. Did you know that? Yeah, apparently the other kids were afraid of me because of the things that happened with Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, and because I was different.
Yeah.
So they decided that I needed to not be at prom. They didn't want any disruptions or distractions, and there were a lot of concerned parents. So Ron Nordyke put me on the down list in art. I'm like, fuck, if you're going to put me on the down list in anything, fucking put me on the down list in math. I know that I'm passing, but Mr. Barons is a fucking doucher, and I am barely passing, and it's retard math.
And you're good at art, so...
I was good at math, too.
Yeah, I was really good at all school studies. I just didn't do any of them. I aced all the quizzes and tests. Well, I wouldn't say ace. I got anywhere from an 85 to 100. I never got much lower than an 85 almost ever. But I had zeros. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
You know what's fucked up about you is you got a fucking shit ton of autistic traits. But you don't have the fucking autistic traits that people commonly attribute. Like, you have all of the fucking positive shit.
I don't know. Even Todd said he didn't understand me when I was a kid, when I was really young, because I really wouldn't talk much or express anything or tell anybody anything.
Yep, and that's an example in early childhood development.
I was just left out. Zach and Brittany were pretty chill, and then Zach and Nikki were super chill. Like he was her baby. And then, I don't know, people just used me for whatever seemed good at whatever point in time. Me and Nikki, we got pretty close, like, every once in a while, like, super close to, like, I don't know, felt like she was the only one that mattered, and then even she kind of turned on me once in a while. And yeah.
I remember one time I was hanging out with Chance, and there was this friend of Nikki's that she was hanging out with. And Chance wanted to get laid, and he was under this impression that I was going to go and have sex with Nikki. And I looked at Nikki, and my eyes got this fucking big, dude. I was like, and she's like, I was like, alright, this girl is fucking chill as shit.
Yeah, I really love Nikki. It's just, she's made certain choices that I wish she wouldn't have.
Well, I'm glad that I didn't have to say no to Chance, because he'd have never let me fucking live it down, you know?
Right.
And you knew Chance, fucking...
Yeah.
That ain't no bullshit. He literally never would have let me live that down. Like, dude, you had some free pussy, you shouldn't have turned it down. My eyes got like this big. I was like, the thing going through my head is, oh God, Nikki, help me. She did too. Like, she was so chill about it. She's like,
Yeah,
like, I got you, Sean.
She's a straightforward chick. I mean, I don't know. She's a strong woman. It's good to be a strong woman. But
She's been badass through all of this. She just like everybody else who would help me if they were in person. They're not here in person, you know? And just like most of the people in person, you know, I'm pretty fucking depressed. You know? So I'm trying to deal with it the best I can. But I basically got the bottom of the barrel as far as the emotional support group goes. That's what they cut me off from with them rumors.
Mm-hmm.
They cut me off from the positive people. And there's a lot of people, like, that aren't so positive, that I was always able to bring positivity to them and always able to help them before. And now I'm like, you know, this is bullshit. I can't take care of myself, and now I got people that can't take care of themselves fucking taking care of me, and then they're fucking feeling bad when they fucking took care of me so long that they ain't got nothing for them, and then they fucking feel bad for asking for something for them, just like I felt bad for fucking asking for something for me, and
it's
fucking...
a vicious cycle, ain't it?
Right? See, there's the fucking bitches, and then there's the givers. Us givers, fucking, we feel like shit for asking for help ourselves because we know what it's fucking like.
Yes, it's very demeaning. Especially when you feel like you can't demean yourself even more, and then it's like, well, fuck, now I need someone to give me something so I can at least decently live or function in one way or another.
Well, most people that I helped out, they're not the people who helped me out. A lot of the people that helped me out are people that I had never done shit for before. Like, dude, I can't remember ever doing anything good for you, you know? I mean, I don't remember being bad to you. I wasn't bad to anybody in town. I was literally good to everybody.
Very rarely hung out. If I was hanging out with Amanda, then
Yep.
I'd more or less likely see you and hang out with you. I hung out with you once because, I don't know, we were talking about your ship game and you're building ships, and it was just something to do. But, you know, I didn't know you at that point. So.
Most of what I remember about you is all through Brittany. And I remember probably a little bit through Jamie's, because I remember a couple of nights that you were over there that she was just an overwhelming bitch to you.
Oh, yeah.
Like that one night she was calling you a fucking faggot because she thought she was going to have sex with you. You were too drunk.
Yeah, and then I just asked her why she's being a bitch, and then everybody hated me.
Yeah, I remember that, and everybody was fucking, you went outside to go puke, and I was like, fucking let him puke. Leave him the fuck alone, let him fucking puke.
It was fucking stupid, dude. Even Todd fucking started fucking attacking me, and I didn't call her a bitch. I just asked why she was being a bitch to me.
Yep.
Because I was just home visiting from Osmos. I was just down for a couple days. I didn't want to be fucking dogged or treated like shit. I was there to actually hang out with people. Because Osmos, I hung out with the guys I worked with, and a lot of them on the weekend would go off to a bar or go do something, and I was too young, so I had to sit alone in a motel room if I wasn't out working or sleeping.
Oh, she was generally pretty forward about fucking hunting for cock. At least that's one good thing about Jamie. If she wanted your dick, she'd tell you so. It's just that she fucking took no so horribly.
Yeah, there was several times she tried to sleep with me. There was one time her and Jackie were going to have sex with me, but all the guys at the party would not give us more than, I guess, we had about 2 minutes alone. And I didn't know what was exactly going on. I was taken to the bathroom by Jamie, and she started making out with me, and then Jackie barged in and pushed Jamie and me into the bathtub, and then they started making out and kind of rubbing on me, so I was like kind of rubbing on them, and then like fucking not even 2 minutes later, you can hear just everybody around the bathroom door banging and banging and banging.
Yep. Oh, he's probably in there fucking our pussy. See, that's literally the words that came out of those dudes' mouths whenever a situation like that happened. But they did that a lot. Like, they did that with Randy. They did that with, they tried doing it with, Tagmeyer. See, that was when they were fucking with Hayden McCall's head hard, like hard and heavy. I have never seen anybody take that kind of punishment until I went through it, like, recently. Like, She put Hayden through worse than she put me through.
Yeah, she had him hook, line, and sinker, and I think that's why it pissed her off so much. Is I wasn't gonna just take her shit. There's no reason, no point.
Well, the only difference between me and those other guys is that I had to stop and make myself a choice. Who do I give a shit more about, Jamie or her son? When it got to that point, like, I was like, you know what, there is no way that I can deal with this woman or the things that she is doing, but her son is the most precious thing in the world to me, and this is the closest I've ever had to a family. And that's not a joke. Like, I was fucking, what, 27, 28? And that...
Pretty near, yeah.
You know, I'd never had a girlfriend at that point, and, you know, I didn't go over to Jamie's with the intent of having a girlfriend. I went over there because her mom had just fucking died, and I know how people in this town are.
Yeah, that was a hard time. I should have fucking... Jamie told me... I told Jamie we should stop her mom from leaving, and Jamie told me she'll be fine, let's not worry about it. So me and Jamie both had a really hard thing to deal with, because we both knew she wasn't going to be fine, and she wasn't fine. And me and Jamie didn't stop her.
Well, I don't know. She was interested in me, and then if other people were there, then she wasn't.
Yeah. She was interested in me in the weirdest times. Like, when she was actually happy with everything that's going on, she'd be like in a relationship with someone or something, and then all of a sudden she just seemed to like long for me. Like, for a, I don't know, it was a very short time period. But she was with James, just starting to see James and super happy, and she was living in her grandma's house. And, no, she was still living in she was living in the house, I don't remember which one for sure. But she drugged me to her room, and she kind of just rubbed on me a little bit, and then she pulled out fucking some meth, and she wanted to smoke a little bit, and she wanted me to smoke a little bit. And I said no, and she's like, not even if we exchange. And I was like, no, I'll hold the bulb for you, but no.
Right. Yep. See, that's a lot of the stuff that I had to deal with, is that I didn't do that shit, and a lot of their decisions were powered by it.
Yeah, I don't know, it was just always weird, and, you know, I really liked Jamie, and she was the girl next door for me, but that time she just straight up was being a bitch to me, and all I asked her was, why are you being a bitch to me? And the whole party bashed me, and then she fucking started being nasty to me the next day. I lost all respect and care for her.
Well, that was the night I realized Todd had like the biggest crush at anybody at that whole house. Todd had like the biggest thing for Jamie. To this day, out of all 6 of those guys, the only one who is still a part of Jamie's life is Todd.
Oh yeah, because, you know, Todd wanted to hook up and be with her, but then he realized like he could be her friend, and there's always that possibility that this night they might hook up.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah, you know, so it was just easier for him to settle for friends.
Well, they did have sex a few times.
Yeah. You know, and they talked about it, and there was times we would all hang out and just chill. We wouldn't be partying. They'd bring over some wine. I didn't like wine, so I'd just drink a couple beers, we'd chill and watch movies.
We used to play drinking games, but everybody knew I didn't drink, so Jamie would wait until everybody had already had a few drinks, and then we'd start a game, and she would have a fucking few cans that were filled with water, and she would bring them into me during the game.
There you go.
Yep, she's like, now just remember to act drunk. You do know how to do that, right, Sean?
She had her moments where she was like a really cool, awesome person, but
Yo.
there was just so much shit I just couldn't let slide, especially after that night. Like, she was really going at me hard, and no one seemed to care, and for some reason, me calling her out for it just fucking made everybody's vaginas hurt.
Yeah, that's what I'm having to deal with both Jamie and Natalie. those were the two situations that I had to deal with
What I
right
assume
before Natalie died.
Natalie wasn't truthful to people about you because you were trying to help her and she didn't want it. And
She did want it, though. That's the thing.
well, she didn't want it, but she did want it. But that's how addicts are.
Yep. For me, it was just the fact that she had put it all on me that she was gonna kill herself if I wasn't already there. Before I went to Virginia, like, first, she wasn't gonna get on the airplane unless she saw me first. So I went down there to make sure that she could see me. And they didn't answer their phones, so they were all whining at me that I had already come back to Nebraska, and I'm trying to explain to them, hey, I got heart issues. I got to go to the hospital in Julesburg fucking tomorrow, so I couldn't just stay. And I'm sorry, but I had to pay somebody $100 to bring me down here to see you guys, and also they couldn't stay all day, so I tried. And she was telling me, well, I'm not getting on the airplane unless you promise you're going to come to Virginia and see me. And I said, okay. And I fucking busted my ass to try to make that happen, but it was taking a long time. And then, you know, she called me up and she said, if you're not already on the way, I'm going to fucking kill myself. I said, well, I don't have the money to go. Give me just a few more days. And fucking 6 hours later, fucking... Well, it wasn't even 6 hours later. It was like 3 hours later, because they're 3 hours different on the time zone thing.
Yeah.
So, like... Yeah, dude, she didn't fucking take long from when she said that to when she tried. And she was literally asking for my help. She was literally, you know, all of the places that we went were places that they asked me to go. And then they were trying to pretend like I was stalking them in Virginia. I'm like, you don't ask people to go to Elliot's coffee grounds if they're stalking you. You don't ask them what they want for their birthday. You don't ask them what their favorite cake is and tell them that they have to pick a gift. You don't do that if somebody is fucking stalking you.
No, but you don't, if you're that young and stuff, it's not socially acceptable to be associating with someone that appears like you. So
right.
They gotta make it appear like, to everybody else, and then that's why it fucking makes shit so much fucking difficult. Like me, that's where I went wrong. I could have been a popular kid. I was athletic. I didn't take shit from no one. I was fucking witty. I was funny. And, you know. But I stood up for the kids that couldn't stand up for themselves.
You don't fucking do that in Chappell. You ought to fucking know better, Dallas. You knew better fucking before you ever did that shit.
And I wouldn't take shit from the fucking kids that had the name and the money. And if they treated somebody that was what they viewed under them or less than them, I would fucking say something. And I would bash them and I'd bully them. And that was unacceptable. So I was automatically hated by everybody that was popular.
I stood up to Jason Vogt when he was fucking haranguing on Charlie Carter. When he pushed Charlie Carter into the desk, you know, Charlie had his fucking hip replaced, right? When he was a lot younger.
I don't know that. I know Jason.
Well, he fucking pushed Charlie into a desk, and I was like, dude, you need to knock that shit the fuck off, alright? Knock it off. Leave him alone, stop bullying him. And you know what? Charlie, every time that Jason Vogt was being fucking mean like that, Charlie would fucking take it, and he'd take it, and he'd take it. And I'm thinking to myself, someday Charlie's gonna fucking snap on this motherfucker, and I'm gonna fucking laugh in his face.
Right.
But, you know, when I finally stood up for Charlie, it's because by that point, Jason had become a problem for me, too. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to fucking stand here and let you fucking be mean to him just because the teacher's not here. And Charlie's like, it's okay. I'm like, it's not fucking okay. Yeah. Are you fucking crazy, Charlie?
Yeah, there's a few kids in my class and other classes that, you know, they weren't disabled by any means, but they weren't all there either. You know, they had bad genetics. Their brain didn't work as well. They didn't function as quickly. They were way more awkward. But that's no reason to bash them, and especially ones that kind of stink or wear the same clothes. It's like they don't have a choice or an option. Like,
The two girls when I was in school, that was Nova Wilmuth and Amanda Ingeline.
Yeah, mine was Jesse Wilmuth, and then it was um, Justin Johnson, and there was a couple other kids. I can't really remember them right now, but like it sucked because I stood up for them. I got hated for it, but I didn't want to hang out with those kids either. I just
Right.
didn't want to see them bashed. I just didn't think it was right to bash them for whatever, you know.
Matt steal another tobacco.
I suppose.
Here's all of my interactions with Roy Wilmuth. All right. The very first time that I interacted with Roy Wilmuth, I was in high school. Brandon Jeffson came over and said, "Hey, the state is going to come over and they're going to take my cousins away and we're not going to see them again. I need help." So I said, "All right, I can do that." We were supposed to go help Roy and his wife clean their house so that, you know, that the kids wouldn't get taken away. And I got there, and Roy and his wife did not help. There was nobody in that house but just me and Brandon. And we fucking cleaned up every bit of that house. We cleaned dog shit, cat shit, fucking piss off of every goddamn surface in that house. You know, and there were clothes piles, and we had to throw out, furniture because it had shit that was fucking squished into it.
Well.
And so then, after that, little Jay comes to me, and, you know, I've never had a conversation with Roy ever by this point. Jason comes to me, it's a couple of years later, and Jason says to me, "Hey man, my cousins are going to get taken away by the state unless we can get the house cleaned. Can you help me?" And I said, "Yeah." And I went over there, and same fucking deal. Everything fucking covered in piss. Everything nasty as fucking hell. And I'm going, see, that's why Neva never wants to be home. She never wants to be home.
Oh, no, and Nova's worked her ass off to make sure that smell from the house does not come off on her.
Well, see, also, Jason, he's telling me, you know what, Nova's the only one that fucking cleans anything in that house. And Brandon's telling me Nova's the only one that fucking cleans anything in that house. And I'm looking at the place, and I'm going, if Nova spent an entire week cleaning this house, she wouldn't get it done. And that's not saying that me and Jason got a whole amount of done, and, you know, like, I think it was like 1 or 2 days that we were there. But we were very experienced because I knew what the fuck I was doing.
Well, generally, I come to...
When you're overwhelmed with it, you have to get the hell out of there, though.
What I come to notice is men generally clean a lot faster and are way more decisive about what they're doing with whatever they grab.
Yep.
Especially if they're asking you to help. Well, I'm going to throw away a bunch of shit if it's disgusting. I don't give a fuck what it is or what it means to you. If it's fucking disgusting, it's got to go.
I think that might have been why they weren't there. Because, like, I think a lot of it is with Nova, she's, like you said, she's a good fucking worker, you know. All of my problems that I ever had with her are over a situation that is not her fault, you know.
Yeah.
And those were my two interactions with Roy, was just going to his house to clean up all that. And then later on, Nova and Jamie got themselves a place over there at the other end of town, and Jamie told me to come over and see them. So I went over there to see them, and I knocked on the door, and they weren't there. So I was turning around, Roy was in his fucking vehicle, screaming at me, fucking some chimo goddamn bullshit, and fucking threatening to kill me if he saw me over there again. So then, you know, I'm fucking basically trying to ignore this dude at this point. I'm like, I fucking saved your fucking kids from getting put in the system twice, and in reality, they probably would have been better in the fucking system.
I think it would have worked out better, especially for Jessie. I think she just kind of, I don't know.
She's the one that never fucking talks, ever.
She doesn't. And me and her used to talk a little bit, but I always try to keep the distance to where she didn't, like, try to like me. Because, like, she was a big girl and she stank. And, you know, I didn't feel anything like that for her. I felt, like, sorry for her.
You know? But that's a lot of the stuff with me is like there's a lot of people that feel sorry for me, but there's a difference between feeling sorry for me and fucking giving a shit about my well-being. You know?
I try not to get, like...
You have every reason to be fucking scared, dude. You don't have to fucking explain nothing. All of your fears are fucking legit, and you don't have to apologize again.
Shut up.
Now, dude, you're apologizing for shit that other fucking people did. You're apologizing for shit that is not your fucking fault. When it's something that's your fault, I'll let you apologize, okay?
Okay. Well, I did use the money you gave me for one thing on everything else, but that thing, so...
Alright, so I gave it to you for what? Vehicle insurance, right? So that you had money to do what it is that you needed to do. But you needed more important shit. You needed food for the kids. Did you get food for the kids?
Yeah.
So, did you do the right thing with that fucking money?
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
Cigarettes I didn't absolutely need, nor did I need sodas, but... Or coffee, but I had to buy coffee because I don't drink anymore, so I need something.
Yep. And it's good in the morning.
I can't run out of coffee, I just can't. Because sometimes, you know, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning I need coffee, 11 o'clock I need coffee. It doesn't matter what time it is, if I need something to drink.
That night that she showed up at that party, every time that Jamie would get drunk, and it was just me and her, then she would try to have sex with me, but I wouldn't have sex with her when she was drunk. I said, if I'm not good enough for you when you're sober, you can't have me when you're drunk. And then she'd have a party the next night, and she'd make sure that she calls over all of the people that would... She was trying to make me jealous, so she calls all of those people over to party. And so, when you came over that night, it was literally the night after one of those situations, and it was... The way that she was treating you for saying no, like, the thing is that she was intentionally the closest person to you two when she was trying to fucking get you to have sex with her was literally me. She was making sure that I heard it. She did the same thing with Dylan Tagmeyer, and she did the same thing with Mikey Witcher. And all three of them did the same thing. I'm fucking too drunk, Jamie.
She didn't like being turned down.
She didn't. But she told me that the reason she treated me the way that she did is because no guy had ever turned her down before. I said, Jamie, I didn't turn you down. I turned the alcohol down.
No, I didn't...
I'm not against sex as long as it's consensual, but the stuff that I grew up with, if it's going to be that nasty sex, that you have to, or, you know, if you love me, you will, or that kind of stuff, I don't want that.
Yeah,
or
no.
the, oh, she's in a fucking hell of a bind, she just lost her mom, she's in a fucking desperate situation, and she's lonely. Let's capitalize on this to try to get laid. Like, it's, I can't get a hard-on if I feel sorry for you. That's impossible.
I accidentally did with a friend, and I deeply regret it, but I didn't do it until the morning, and, like, I don't know, sometimes I wake up, and if I'm next to someone, it's become sexual before I'm actually conscious.
Well, I ruined me and Jamie's friendship by not having sex with her. And I could have avoided that situation altogether because, see, she was going to teach me about women. Instead, she was trying to get laid and then explaining to me afterwards, hey, if you'd have understood this, you'd have gotten laid. Well, thank you for rubbing it in my face afterwards. I tried to chalk them up to learning experiences, but she never tried the same thing twice. One night she came and kissed me on the forehead, and the next day she tells me, all right, Sean, let me tell you what an idiot you were, all right? I kissed you on the forehead, and then I went in my bed and I waited for you for 2 fucking hours until I heard you snoring. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, she's fucking pissed off at me. I'm like, you kissed me on the forehead. Yeah, that means I want to get fucking laid. I'm like, oh my god, I've never kissed on somebody on the forehead because I wanted to fuck them.
No, usually I kiss someone on the forehead to show compassion and appreciation, and it's just like a loving thing.
And she knew I didn't like being tickled, so she tickled the fuck out of me one night. And I was like, stop, please stop, please stop, please stop. And then the next day, she tells me, Sean, I was tickling you because I was horny and you're supposed to take the fucking hint.
Yeah, I've fucked up on that a few times with chicks. Is like, I don't read signs. I'm not a mind reader, and I'm not.
You have to tell me.
I'm not a assertive person 98% of the time. I don't put myself out there hard to be sexualized. Usually, you know, if we're making out and kissing, I'll make subtle moves. You turn me down, I'm done. I might even be done kissing and making out with you because I need to stop because I got some shit flowing through me it's making me want to aggressively have sex with you, and you turn me down, so I gotta stop the blood flow. That happened with one chick, and she's like, no, stop, I don't want to. And I was like, okay, that's fine, you know, I'm gonna just go to bed now, okay? So I gave her a kiss, I laid back down, I was trying to go to sleep, and then she's like, well, you got a condom? I was like, yeah, I got a condom, are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. So we had sex, and then 4 of us jumped in the shower because there's already 2 people having sex on my floor. And then come to find out, she had fucking talked to her mom and her brother and shit, accusing me of raping her.
God, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, so her brother wanted to hunt me down, and I was worried because I was 16, and she came with a 19-year-old, and it turned out she was 14.
Oh my God.
And I didn't know. She came with a 19-year-old friend, a chick that, you know, I had known for quite a while, who I figured was coming down for me, but then she started hitting on someone else, so I was like, well, her friend's here, and she's here and drinking, and she looked older, she had big-ass tits, and...
And you were 16.
And I was 16, like, I didn't think much of it, but then once I heard that she was fucking accusing me of fucking raping her, it was like, whoa, whoa. Now I could be in super serious trouble just for the fact that I'm 16 and she's 14, let alone...
But you also got to think about, you know, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes, like, you know, especially if she's from a Latino family. Not saying that she was, but in a situation like that, if they find out that she's had sex, like, they're screaming for blood. The whole family is.
It was a hard white trash family.
Oh, like the Lomans.
Yeah, pretty much, like, but not as big.
Right.
So...
Yeah, when the Lomans were pissed off at me, it was over something that wasn't even nothing to do with me.
It was just fucking bullshit. Like, I was told her brother's gonna fucking kick my ass. I saw him a few times in the hallway, and I'm pretty sure he knew it was me, but he walked up to me, staring at me. I fucking kept walking towards him, staring, and he walked by. And he could have kicked my ass. He was a bulky, beefy motherfucker, but I didn't do anything fucking wrong, so I wasn't gonna fucking act like a squeamish little bitch about it. If you want to beat my ass, but I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, the most evil shit that Jamie ever did to me, it was always after one of those situations where she wanted to get laid and I didn't take the hint. Or I knew exactly what she wanted, but she was drunk or on meth.
Right. So, I don't know. Fucking shit can be fucked up sometimes.
It is. Could I steal one more tobacco from you?
Yeah.
That ain't right. I give you money and then I fucking steal all the shit that you spent the money on. At least I'm not eating your food.
Well, some of that I didn't spend money on. Jenny drops me off one of the food boxes.
You know, when Tara beat the fuck out of her dog and that fucking whole situation happened, Jenny and Zach, it's their place that I fucking went to for help.
Yeah.
And they fucking did. They called the sheriff for me, and the sheriff showed up, and he fucking took me away. But the thing is that I needed help. Every time that I have ever needed help from a cop, I've always tried to get help from a cop before I have fucking broken the law and called the cops on myself. And I literally called the cops on myself every time. I'm like, hey, I'm in a desperate situation. I need help, and you guys are fucking ignoring me because I have a penis again. Now I am at the point where I am about to fucking crack. I need your help.
I told Harley to call the cops on me if I ever lay a foul hand on her again. I was like, immediately, call the cops.
Well, there's another thing. Like, I'm scared of Harley. Like, I'm totally down with you guys getting back together. Whatever you guys have to do, you know?
Right.
Whatever makes you happy. And that really does need to be... Well, I'm not going to tell you what needs to be a priority in your life. Just fucking...
And she called me tonight, and she called me not to talk to me. She told me to let the kids talk to me.
And that is fucking perfect, too. Like,
Yeah, that was awesome.
You are a lot different when you get to interact with them. But also, like, I don't... There were too many situations last year where the only thing keeping me from calling the cops was fear of having to move. Like, I was that scared of the situation.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done well if you would have called the cops on her, because
I wouldn't have done well either.
I wasn't in a place to take care of the kids, and this kind of shit would have happened, and I don't know. I don't like calling the cops. I'd never call the cops. I called the cops twice in my life. Once to report someone that fell down outside of a bar hollering and screaming. And that turned out to be Harley's aunt. Which was funny because I was in Harley's apartment in Sydney at the time, and Harley made me call the cops. Like, she wouldn't do it, but like, this lady would not stop screaming because she fell down, and we didn't fucking know if it was a lady or what the fuck, or so
if they were dying.
We weren't going down there because we didn't know, but yeah, Harley was like, I was like, man, we should call someone. She's like, yeah, we really should. You should call the cops. I was like, why don't you? It's your apartment.
Well, dude, you admitted that you were thinking about calling the cops a few times on her.
Yeah, I was probably drunk. I don't remember saying that. Might have been sober, and that's why I don't remember saying it. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Well, you said you was afraid of calling the cops on her because you didn't want to go to jail.
Yeah, well, that too, because that happens a lot.
Yeah.
So, but, no, I straight up told her to don't hesitate. And Todd's like, and she told Todd that, and Todd's like, well, call me first.
No, don't call Todd first.
He lays a foul hand
Call
on
the
you.
fucking cops. Call the fucking cops. Don't call Todd.
I was like, I don't care. Let Todd come beat my ass. You can call him first and then call the cops second. It don't matter to me. If I lay a foul hand on you, I deserve it.
If I got to the point that I saw you guys coming to blows, I'd get between y'all first.
Well, it's never really been like fists. Like, I don't throw punches. I guess I've kicked her a couple of times, like in the head. I don't remember doing it, but she told me I did. And there was one time my foot hurt and I couldn't walk right for 4 days. So I don't know if I kicked her in the head, or if I kicked her, if I kicked the wall. I don't know. But usually it's I'm pushing and shoving her, or fucking holding her down, screaming at her, is what it was.
And she fucking wants to get back to you for what reason?
Right?
See, that's the thing. Like, first of all, in that situation, I always take the woman's side.
Yeah.
But the situation with her fucking stalking your ass for a year afterwards, like, that fucking creeped me out.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that came before that is not my business, and I wasn't there for, and I don't get to say whether it happened or not. That does not change the fact that the stuff that happened here did happen. It was scary, and it, you know, I'm doing my best. When it got to the point that I was thinking about calling the cops, it's because I was seriously thinking that the cops were going to be showing up soon anyway.
There's been times where I've wondered, but, you know, I've done some crazy fucked up shit to her, and she's done some shit to me, and like, I don't know.
Well, as long as she's about the kids and you're about the kids.
Yeah.
If it, let me tell you about a lot of the people that were my friends. My parents chose drugs over their own kids.
No.
I'll never respect that, ever. There's a lady named Christine, and she was going to help me after Natalie died. Now, I didn't try to keep much in contact with her, but I did try to keep in contact with her ex. The reason for that is because her ex quit the drugs, went back to fucking where he's from, Dayton, Ohio, and fucking became a daddy to his kid. Whereas Christine, she's seen her son when he was born, and that was it.
Yes.
But she uses her son to try to get the police to do horrible shit to Red because she's fucking scary, dude. Like, she is. When she's fucking coming down, she wants to fucking hate on somebody, she calls Ed and tells Ed that he owes her this and he owes her that, and fucking he needs to pay her for half the kid. And if he doesn't fucking do it, then she calls the cops and says, well, he's keeping me from talking to my kid. Like, no, fucking Christine. I've been there, you know. Like, I know these people in person.
Right.
And I had to ask Christine for help. Meanwhile, Ed was one of the people that I was going to visit on that trip to see Natalie. You know, I didn't have the money to go, because halfway there, Jamie called me.
Oh, yeah.
Says, hey, I need a hero. Yup.
Yeah.
When I got to fucking Virginia, I got there, I had like $20 to my name. That's what I had to work with once I got there. And I didn't think I was going to make it there. But also at the same time, there were like 6 people that I promised up and down. When, as soon as, you know, I knew that I was going to go to the East Coast, I planned to see a lot of people. I planned to go see Ed, and I fucking got that recorded. And I planned to go see Brett, and I got that recorded. It's not that these people never spoke up. It's that they never went in with me. They never made calls with me. And they never spoke up with me. You know, a lot of them were like, well, you just write it down and I'll sign it. I'm like, I am on the road and I am on the run. You got no idea what I'm going through right now. And a lot of people took advantage of that. Like, and it's usually addict females that take advantage of me. They're like, all right, well, I need help. My ex is abusive. And a lot of times I find out the ex wasn't abusive. Or I find out that she was fucking beating on him for 30 minutes before fucking he pushed her away. And like with James, when him and Jamie got into that, James's side of the story is, yeah, I pushed her, but she punched me in the face. But I also got a recording with her son where, you know, he's saying, well, she said that James pushed her down the stairs. And I'm like, well, James said that he pushed her into a bookshelf. And Jamie, she just fucking decided to change her story depending on fucking who she was talking to. Yeah. I found out she was manipulating the whole situation right from the start. Like when I was at Amanda's, Lana and Amanda's up in Montana, they were asking a bunch of stuff and saying a bunch of stuff that let me know that Jamie was fucking with shit. Now let me tell you about the second time I ever had sex. I'm at Rihanna's in Rawlins, Wyoming last year, and we're taking care of Amy's kids, and I have no power. She did pee on me, that's right. And she was drunk, and I'm against fucking having sex with drunks, and it was fucking the grossest thing. I didn't even want to have sex with her. All I could think about is, alright, if I don't do this, fucking those kids are going to get the wrath tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know how women get when they feel rejected, and it ain't fucking nice.
It's not.
So I broke one of my rules. I could have broken that rule 100 times with Jamie. Of course, then she'd have known I have a tiny penis.
Right. It's always that anticipation of knowing or not knowing.
Well, out of all those guys that were over there, it seemed to me that really none of them cared about the boy, and somebody needed to, because he was not going to have...
I like little Z.
Right? But you weren't over there as a suitor, and you weren't over there often while I was around.
There was sometimes that I would just hang out with Z until he went to bed and was asleep. And then I was told it's okay, and once he's asleep, Gary's around or something, or whatever it might be, or whatever. So that I could go and do whatever.
Oh, her uncle? Uncle Ronnie? That dude was a big piece of shit.
Oh, fuck yeah. I kind of liked him, because, I don't know, he had a lot of stories and he talked a lot.
I knew him from Boulder. He was a piece of shit there, and he was a piece of shit here.
Yeah. I'm kind of, I don't know, it's crazy that fucking Nathan actually stabbed him in the leg.
Well, here's the thing about Ronnie. The only reason that Jamie tolerated him is because he helped put her grandpa in prison. That's the only reason that Jamie tolerated him. But the way that he was abusing the boy, she was not okay with. The reason that I was over there most of the time was because she felt unsafe unless I was there. That was always her excuse. Whenever she had a party, she would say, "Hey, Sean, I got some friends coming over, and you know how they get, and you're the only person I know who's reasonable. Will you chaperone? You can play the drinking games with us, because I know how everybody fucking rags on you. If you don't, I'll make sure that I keep you stocked up with water, okay?"
Shit, my phone went off Harley call.
Oh shit, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's after the visit, so she probably called. Okay, it was only 2 minutes ago. I keep forgetting my fucking phone's on silent. I don't know why it's on silent. I just happened to turn it on silent somehow. I don't know.
My phone for the last few days has been not...
Oh, hi.
Sorry.
Hey, sorry I missed your ring. I'm sitting here talking to Sorcies. No, not yet. No, my phone's still on silent. Even after I told Todd it was on silent, and I just never changed it. The first time it just happened, I happened to look over, and I was like, Harley's calling me, what? Yeah, so. But, yeah, I didn't mean to miss your call. I didn't ignore it or anything. Okay, then. Okay. I'll come over around 8, and if there's anything else you want me to help with, I can. Well, yeah, I need to get settled down at some point here soon tonight, but if I get settled down too early, there's a chance that I'll fall asleep and just wake up at like 1 o'clock, and then there's no way I can go back to sleep. Because, like, I don't know, lately if I wake up, I'm awake and it sucks. There's no falling back asleep. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Okay. And if not, then you got movies there we can go through or anything? Yeah, see, there we go. Then we can pick out a movie together. Alright. Yeah. Alright, babe. Love you. Alright, bye. Still feels super different talking to her. Because even when we were together, like the last few years, I didn't talk much. And that was always a big cause of the issue. She would have something to say, and I would hardly listen, and if it was negative about me, I would give her like a paragraph or two, and then I'd tell her I'm done, I don't want to talk about it anymore. And she would, I don't know, she just
Get self-destructive.
She would start carrying on until it got to the point to where it was really mean and hateful, and she was just trying to get any response out of me, because I literally would not talk. I would not say a word for hours. And there was a couple times it was all night, right up until the morning, right until I was leaving for work. Because I was stubborn, so stubborn to not say anything.
It sent me to Google Play. I'm trying to respond to a friend in crisis. It sent me to Google Play. It has sent me to other sites already 3 times just in the time you're talking. I'm able to multitask and I am listening.
Well, that's weird though.
It's just for the last... Every time I start trying to tell on the cops, I get cut off from anybody that I'm communicating with. It's fucking screwed up.
Yeah, I betting they have a system on their computers that kind of it tracks more of your mobile data. It pings it just in case they need a warrant or something like that. It gives your whatever data incoming and outgoing you receive. It gives it a marker of some sort, and that interrupts with your signals and shit. Would be my presumption.
Man, they have been so screwed up with ignoring me. I've literally done everything I can to try to throw out every fucking red flag that I can. Like, hey, if that's what I gotta do to fucking save these kids, fucking I will fucking commit every crime I gotta do short of fucking killing somebody. There are literally children who are being abused right now because my fucking, what do you call it, my reputation fucking sucks. And, you know, for me, trying to explain to people that I'm pissed off not only because I continue to have to endure this abuse, but because these predators have access to more victims as a result. And because of discrediting me, a lot of these victims are now scared of their predators having access to them. A lot of the folks, right after Natalie died, I got so much attention. People are telling me all their stories thinking that I'm going to be able to do something about it. And I'm like, I'm trying. The cops aren't listening to me. I need help in person. You know, some people were telling me about some of the police officers in specific and their experiences with the Bollingers and what that whole situation was, but I try to explain to people, hey, you know, instead of judging me, you know, please take a look. Like with Harlee, when she was saying that she needed some money, especially with the things that she had said about me, I'm like, hey, I get what people are saying about me in town. I know I'm not stupid. You know, it's not something that, you know, it's not like you're keeping a big secret from me. And, you know, with a lot of the stuff that you're saying, like, I get where it's coming from. But, you know, I'm willing to pay you money because you're telling me you're broke, and you can't work a job because you're pregnant. You know, I'm willing to give you money cash right now if you can just sit with me for a few hours and look at this stuff. And she's like, well, I'm not good at this and I'm not good at that. And, you know, that's one of them things where, like, you know, she wanted to judge me and I just wanted to show her the truth.
Right.
You know, if you're going to judge me for something, find out if it's true or not. A lot of these people saying that I was talking shit, like, I didn't talk shit. I told the truth about people who were talking shit.
I don't really have much shit to say. People say something about you. Oh, well, yeah, he's an oddball, but he's a good guy. He's always been a good guy, and he's never done me anything wrong yet. I always gotta say yes. I say yes to anybody and everybody, and I've never done you wrong yet. I don't know if I'm ever gonna do you wrong. I don't want to. I don't plan to, but.
Well, I felt I did you wrong. I just